Thank you so much. Those are great questions. I appreciate it. Diverse questions, but everybody out there, I'm certainly sure, has appreciated and had the same type of questions. So appreciate everybody. These questions are for everybody, and those that are brave enough to reach out and do this, I really appreciate you being the guinea pigs for me. So thank you.
Anytime. Thank you, sir.
You got it, my friend. All right, don't forget to text in those questions at 949-298-2905. We are at the halftime. It's 9 o'clock. Remember, tomorrow I'll be on from 8 to 10 again and 9:15. The Bruce Toner is going to join me. And any of you guys, Mr. Asaroff, if you want to join me one day, I would love to have you come and join us too. Any amount of time, your expertise and mentorship and wisdom, just really appreciate.
It's a good sales
I miss you, by the way. And I'm coming down to San Diego, hopefully, to see you.
Bobby. Good sales question.
Oh, good. All righty. Smart water seems to be working. Vote. Let me know if you think so. Come on, Bobby. Answer, buddy. Who else is on? Ah, man.
Carrie Chops likes your haircut, Dave.
Oh, nice. That's because Jake does my hair now. Jakey Bakey wants me to do a shout out for Bubby. Bubby, stay healthy. We love you. Please, we want to celebrate Passover with you, Bubby. Please stay healthy. We love you, Bubby. That's from Jakey Bakey. All right, my man. Bubby got her shout out.
All right, this is a friend of Schwann's.
Friend of Shawan. I got all kinds of great names on here.
Alexa in New York.
Alexa in New York. She is harbored down into the Stafford Act. All right, here we go. Bonnie H., how are you? Tracy, how are you? Great to see you, John. Hi. Hi, Alexa. This is Dave Meltzer. I'm friends with Schwann.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. They told me you have a question for me to help everybody.
Yeah. First of all, nice to meet you on the phone. Thanks for calling in.
Of course.
And my question to you is, how do you gain traction when you're just starting out? So I don't know if Sean told me a little bit about you, but I recently published a book. I'm trying to gain an audience on Instagram. I'm going to start YouTube soon. I'm trying out TikTok. I'm trying to create this brand that it was just like an accidental brand from everything that I've been doing as I'm approaching graduation as a senior in college right now. So any tips on what else I should be doing? I feel like I'm doing everything possible, but it's been a little slow, and I'm not getting the traction that I want or intended on having.
Beautiful. And I hope that stays true your whole life, that you trying to do more than you're doing. But what I want you to do is understand exponential growth, compound interest. One of the most terrifying things about this crisis, as well as the most difficult things to understand, determinative upon your age, aptitude, and awareness, is compound interest and exponential growth. The flattening of the curve is something that everyone can agree upon needs to be done with this crisis and this virus. From there up, from a pandemic to an epidemic to the Armageddon, there's a variety of opinions that exist, but everybody knows that if a disease is doubling every day or every half a day, and you start and need 60 beds, that within a day you'll need 120 beds, 240, 480, 960, and then we get out of control. And pretty soon, that exponential growth. Well, on the scary side, right, we have to prepare for that. But you're talking about the exact same thing. When I started to do what you're trying to do, right, building your brand and creating that, and people laughed at me, I took the philosophy of I want 2 ambassadors. Through all of the different platforms, every year I wanted 2 ambassadors that would get me 2 more ambassadors. And I tell people all the time, at that rate, you end up with 64 ambassadors getting 64 ambassadors in 5 years. The problem is young people in 5 years are like, it's not going fast enough. And they usually quit well before they get to 64 ambassadors getting 64 ambassadors. But in 10 years, you would have 2,000 ambassadors getting you 2,000 ambassadors. And in 15 years, you would have 64,000 ambassadors getting you 64,000 ambassadors. And in 20 years, you'd have 2 million ambassadors getting 2 million ambassadors, and you'll still be 15 years younger than me. right? And you'll never have to work again, and you'll be empowering others to empower others to be happy or whatever it is that you do. What you need to do is continue to practice what you're doing, continue to practice every day in the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential, learning what your potential is, learning consciously, subconsciously, and unconsciously what your potential is, and keep on practicing and practicing and practicing so that that exponential factor grows faster than 2 a year. And it grows faster, and enjoy it along the way, knowing that eventually you will get there if you stick to it and practice it and enjoy the practice of it. You're doing all the right things. You're doing all, and you're farther along than you anticipate. Don't be the 99% that quit. Don't be the 99% that say, oh my gosh, I only have, 2 people that love me this year, and they're telling 2 more people a year. If you can tell me at the end of this year that 2 people love everything that you do, they're ambassadors of yours, and they're telling 2 other people to be ambassadors, you're golden. That math works. The same way math can work on the negative side. So keep asking for mentorship, keep accelerating, keep the lens of productivity. How much value are you providing every day and getting better at providing value and practicing providing value? How accessible are you to others, friends, families, mentees, mentors? Make sure that you're giving back. How are you accessing what you want? Asking a series of questions of who can help you and how they can be of service to you with radical humility. And then finally, a lens of gratitude. Instead of looking at the interference, voids, shortages, and obstacles, instead of looking at I'm not to where I want to be, look at where you are and where you are growing and accelerating and how proud you are of yourself, and lessen the interference to the greatest source of light, power, and lessons that you already are connected to. Don't create more resistance by telling yourself, I'm not as far as I want to be. Nobody's as far as you want to be, because every time you get somewhere, you want to take another step. Right? If I look backwards, and someone told me when I lost everything in 2008 that I would be here, I'm way past where I thought I'd be, but when I woke up this morning, I want to be farther. But I know that I'm practicing the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of my potential. I don't care if people laugh at me, scoff at me, make fun of me. I am confident in my personal experiential giving and receiving values that I take inventory on every day. Every single day I'm proud of myself. And I don't care, because eventually they'll applaud me because I have the right intention. I just don't put a time limit on it, because I know time's a man-made construct and I can't control it. All I can control is doing things as efficiently, effectively, and statistically successful as I can. And I know the only way I can be efficient, effective, and statistically successful is to practice it. And if you need any help, I'll be happy to mentor you in this, because I know you have extraordinary gifts, extraordinary talent, and potential, and I'd love to help you. Does that sound fair?
Thank you. Yeah. Did Schwan give you my book, by the way?
It just came in the mail.
It just came today in the mail, actually, so thank you so much. I haven't read it yet, but I think I'm going to be spending a little more time at home and at the beach, so I might give it a look, and I'll let you know what I think.
Awesome. Yeah. Power to persevere. But thank you for that advice. I have to, I guess, just keep doing me, keep practicing, and putting myself out there, and don't give up.
You got it. You got it. And then call and ask for help. Don't forget, mentorship is key. Ask for help, okay?
Alrighty. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Schwan says hi as well.
Hey, Schwan.
Hello.
He said hello. All right. Take care. Awesome.
Bobby called back. So
Bobby called back.
Good sales question.
All right, Bobby. Thank you for calling back. Once again, everybody, we all are on this journey together. We're all here to be of service and to ask for help. It's not that complicated. It's all math to me. I look at things in mathematical terms, and I know that consistency and persistence. Bobby!
Hey, how's it going, Dave?
Hey, thanks for calling back, man. I know you got a cool sales question, so I want to mix it up here. If you can share that question so we can help others, I certainly would appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for calling me today. Really appreciate it. My question is about if you're actually on a call or on the field doing sales, and you have to do your job and close the deal, So when you're doing rebuttals and the customer's not with you or whatnot, what the situation is, what are some good things you say or terms or phrases maybe that you use that are good rebuttals to use? For example, the other day I was doing a sale, and I told the customer that we often, I think you should put this in your post. I think I got it from you. I said, hey, we often think that changing our mindset is a weakness, but it can be a strength. And it worked. So I got the sale. It was awesome. Afterwards, I was like, oh, that was actually pretty good. I should try that more often. Because I think I seen it on your post, and I was like, it hit me. It struck home to me. So I'm going to try to utilize this and see how it works. So it worked out for me. I got positive feedback, got sale. What are some things that, kind of like that, maybe that you use? Because, just like we're just trying to grow and get better. And
let me.
Pretty new with sales compared to you guys, but,
No, it's awesome, man. And so, first of all, I don't believe in rebuttals, right? So let's change your mindset a little bit and talk about value. So for me, my goal, my mathematical goal of any sale is to provide more value than I'm asking for. And so it starts with a mindset where I wake up every morning and in my head, I dream about having $100 bills all over my room, and then I dream about giving them out to everybody I meet and asking for $20 back. And I take the energy that I feel, that actual emotion that I feel in my dreams when I'm, dreaming about it, and I want to put and harness that into my subconscious and unconscious mind. I want to be able to feel that innately in my quantum being. I want it to be activated in my DNA. I want it to be a habit of mine that's practiced to feel that way, that I'm giving more value than I'm receiving, because other people will feel me when I'm selling. Other people will feel me, and they won't know why, right? It's like the field of dreams. They don't know why they come. They don't know why they buy. They don't know why they feel that way, but it's because I can't give what I don't have. And if I carry the 120 exchange energy, that's the first step. Then the second step is to remember credibility. Everything that I do, say, and think and believe during the course of that sales, from stimulating interest in the sales, to transitioning interest in the sale, to sharing the vision in the sale, to managing and developing the vision in the sale, to getting referrals or allowing that sale to thrive, all of it is determinative upon my statistical success of being credible. Credibility comes from integrity and being as close to the truth as we can, right? People don't realize when they talk out of their ass that they're screwing themselves for a long time in the sales cycle. And nobody knows talking out of their ass better than the Buppet over here. That's right. Mr. Buppet is what I used to call myself, because that furry little Grover of an ass that I had used to talk all the time and bullshit his way through everything. The Buppet no more. Literally stick to integrity and stick to value, the 120 value exchange, and tell people the truth, like you can change your mindset. That's a truthful statement, right? It's not a rebuttal. Right? You're transitioning and re-engineering a vision. That's all you're doing by being credible. By two, getting that emotional attachment. You could not have transitioned or re-engineered that sale if you didn't have an emotional attachment. How do we get an emotional attachment? Through the series of questions of how you can be of service or value, and through the series of questions of how they can help you, finding out what people like and don't like, finding out what they're doing today, and then asking them, what do you like about it? What don't you like about it? And then giving them leading questions about the service value that you can provide by saying, hey, would it help you out if I had a blue polo shirt? That, hey, by the way, I got a blue polo shirt, right? Literally.
Right.
That's how. Then finally, the third one is the quantitative side. Stick to quantitative value, appreciate subjective value that people like and trust you, but stick to the math. The closer you could prove to that person that you're giving 120 value, now you're getting into the guarantee. That's why every business that I do, I usually have a free assessment of some sort to find out how I can be of value of service and guarantee that I'm a profit center, and then only work month to month guaranteeing profit. Can you see any reason why you wouldn't want to move forward if that was the case? Because the only reason people won't move forward if they believe that is they don't have the time, they're emotionally not attached to what I'm talking about, or they don't believe the value. Now, beyond that, you now can talk about impact and features and benefits. Those will always help. But the core is from credibility to emotional attachment to quantification of the 120 exchange. They are not rebuttals, right? They are not rebuttals. Do not be afraid to walk, right? You can't sell unless you're afraid to walk, because if the value is not there, then just illuminate the fact that, you know what? I can't articulate the value effectively. When I can, I'd like to be able to come back and discuss it with you, or if you think of any reason why this would be of value to you, then let me know. Does that sound fair? These are the great sales statistical successes that you can have by sticking to this type of value justified selling, re-engineering visions through truth, through credibility, emotional attachment, and quantitative value. Does that help you out?
No, I'm writing so many notes down right now. I'm just trying to get to this conversation so I can get all the good feedback that you gave me for this. No, I completely agree with that.
Awesome, man. We are recording this and posting it, so go ahead and share that, and go ahead, go back and watch it again. Anyone out there in sales.
I'm trying to get like 10 sales today with that.
At least. Always say a minimum. You're going to get a minimum of 10 sales with that today. Minimum. Don't limit yourself. Man-made construct is time and numbers. Don't limit ourselves. We'll always say minimum or more than, and then you're golden, because you don't want to limit yourself to 10. It might be 20. All right?
Hey, man, I appreciate that so much. Thanks for all you do. Have a good rest of your day.
You got it, my friend. Thank you so much for reminding me about the Buppet and his great advice. I'll talk to you soon. All right, take care. My mom is cringing. When I was younger, I gave a Buppet show to my child. Don't take my kids away. They're fine. But she came in and saw me giving a Buppet show and almost took my kids away when they were little. Not my best work.
Kansas.
All right. JP over here is the Just Stone is cringing. So thank God they didn't have video back then. Nope. Just hearsay. Just
Michael.
hearsay. Hey, Michael, it's Dave Meltzer. How are you?
Hey, David. How you doing this morning?
I am absolutely amazing. How are you?
Great. So my question for you is, currently I own my own small business, and we do primarily 80% entertainment services, kind of logistics, transportation for backup generators, barriers, different things like that for events, concert series, music festivals, etc. That other 20% is still consistent in logistics. Seeing your take on how to get new business without sounding desperate maybe in this crisis, and how to build with what's going on currently.
Yeah, that's easy. So, got to change the way we look at things to change the way we look at things, so the things we look at change. I would go and do an inventory and resource and asset analysis. I would look and see, for example, what other areas need those assets, resources, etc. So I know, for example, in Cedar Sinai, they're building tents for more beds. There's so many overlaps and lays on what people are doing for events for temporary hospital beds. Right? They need generators, they need lights, they need tents, they need food, they all the different things that you do. And the problem is most people don't realize that they actually can make money, help people, and have fun in the crisis if they just would take a deep breath and do an inventory analysis of what assets, resources that they have, and then apply it to, during this crisis, what people will need. And not only will you stabilize your economy during, this transition, but you will come out the other side with maybe new vertebrae on your business, monetizing other things that are applicable, but because you were comfortable, because you were stuck in your cocoon, nice and warm, that we don't see that if we have to break out of it and use our wings to bust out, that there's a whole new area that we could be doing business. And yes, you might just be able to break even or lose a little bit of money in the next 3 to 6 weeks, 4 to 8 weeks, but you might come out and double your money the rest of the year because you found new opportunities, because you're struggling and you're building the muscles to break out of this cocoon, and you've been sitting and not realizing, like me, every time something like this happens, I realize I thought I was pushing myself. I thought I was growing and accelerating. Man, I got so much more in me. Try me, not why me. Right? These are the time that is like, I am a try me guy, and I keep hearing people, why me? Especially my 18-year-old daughter. Why me? I'm missing spring break. Though she's going to hate me for this. But literally, I am a try me person. Right? It's like, oh yeah, you're going to shut down the sports industry? Watch Dave Meltzer. Try me. I'm going to utilize all the resources, assets, and things that I have in order to help people, and I'm still going to stabilize my environment and have the opportunity to help other people stabilize theirs and have the opportunity to help other people that are looking for future opportunities like you. Because I know you're a try me guy the same way. So I go take inventory in what you have and apply it to the situation. You're going to find all types of new opportunity, and you're going to make it through this like everybody else. Does that sound fair?
Sounds fair, David. Thank you so much, and thank you for everything you do for all your listeners and me especially.
You're awesome, man. I look forward to doing more. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, David.
Right on. See, that's a classic example. Great guy, right? We're sitting there. We know there's something there, right? And sometimes it's our guilt. How can I provide opportunity when all these people... No, it's not that all these people are... You're going to sit at home and not help people? The man has generators. I promise you, generators are needed. Tents, hospitality. It's the same thing when you have all these people. We need to flatten the curve. We have a shortage of respirators. We have a shortage of beds, right? A lot of your businesses in sports and entertainment have to do with very similar types of assets, resources, and opportunities. Let's utilize those logistically, checking in. I mean, I go through, I've been exposed in this business for a long time. Let's be a try me country, right? Let's be America of try me, not why me. And I mean that. This is an opportunity to truly strengthen yourself and to build muscles that you haven't been working out in a while, right? A lot of us haven't been working them out since 2008. It's been a 12-year, hiatus. Let's get back onto the bench press. Let's do the reps. Let's get ourselves strong. Let's have the right attitude and mindset.
Derek Smoot.
Smoot. All righty.
You have reached the voicemail box.
Sorry, Derek.
That's all right. Sorry, Derek.
Actually, it's a good one to answer because
right.
he said...
JP, the Just Own, he is going to give us the question.
He said, I seem to be building several businesses at a time, and I feel like an octopus on roller skates. How do you choose which opportunity takes priority if you're passionate about doing more than one thing?
Awesome. Many of us are blessed to have multiple opportunities, and we feel like octopuses on roller skates. How do we choose what opportunity to prioritize? That's why values are so important. If you're not taking a daily inventory of your values, your personal values, your character, integrity, health, family, you're not taking inventory of your experiential values. What do I want to experience today? If you're not taking an inventory on your giving values, how can I impact others, help others, provide value? If you're not taking an inventory of your receiving values and prioritizing those determinative upon your values every day, not afraid of being a hypocrite, not afraid of knowing that people take a snapshot of you and they may be able, especially now that content is captured and amplified and perpetuated, they may be able to say, what a hypocrite you are. 20 years ago, you said this. Guess what? I changed my mind. Because my values changed. Because in the last 20 years, I've gone through 97, 2001, 2008, and now 2020. Guess what? What I'm saying today may be completely wrong 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years from now. But all I'm doing is making my decisions, game time decisions, based on my values. And those values are determinative upon octopus on roller skates, what I'm going to do first. I've completely shifted the paradigm in my life. 2.5 years ago, I decided I'm putting myself first. Anybody asked me 2.5 years ago, family, business, then me. Now it's me. I spend a minimum of 1 hour a day on my health. Then it's family. Minimum of 30 minutes a day with my wife, 30 minutes a day with my 9-year-old son, minimum of 2 minutes a day with each of my teenage daughters, may become more over the next 5 months, and a minimum of 1 minute a day for my mom to make sure she knows, 1, that I'm healthy, 2, that I'm happy, 3, that I appreciate her, and 4, that I love her. Those are the 4 things I want from my kids. Not I hate you because I can't go to spring break, although I understand that hate is just love going in the wrong direction. So I almost, when my girls tell each other that they hate each other, I laugh. I'm like, that makes me feel so good that you guys care so much about one another that you could evoke such a great emotion. Anyway, we need to prioritize by value. You need to know your value. And that's not only determined on what business to do first, but what to do first in the day as you're a student in your calendar, prioritizing things of what you have planned, what you don't have planned in your sleep. It goes to everything. It also goes to your relationships, whether this person or not, right? I got that funny meme. Somebody sent me a picture of this guy and said, if you know this guy, you got to change your friends. Because it was from an obscene text message meme that people send out there that tricks you into seeing stuff that you don't want to see. I actually appreciated it because it says the truth, right? Do you want to surround yourself with those people and those ideas? No, I don't. Unfortunately, it was my wife that sent me the meme, so I got to reconsider. Anyway, now my wife's good. This could be a very pinnacle day in Dave Meltzer's career when he goes home. These lives are really going to be a stress upon the personal relationships I have. I haven't talked about Miles yet.
Shane.
Hey, Shane, it's Dave Meltzer.
Oh, Mr. Meltzer. Good morning.
Good morning to you. I really appreciate you joining us, and will you mind sharing your question with everybody?
Awesome. Oh, wow. That went through. I was just like, oh, my gosh.
That's right.
Cool.
I know that feeling. Unfortunately, I don't have any tickets to a concert.
I'll just stay at home. That's fine.
But I got good advice and some value to provide. Does that sound fair?
Fair. Very fair.
All right. Cool. What's the question, my friend?
So I texted you during times like this. I'm basically like an independent contractor. I'm a gig worker. So what can we do in times like these when, you know, it's a lot of uncertainty lies ahead for us?
Yeah. So, you know, in the next, by 2027, so what, the next 7 years, over 50% of the country will be gig workers, right? They'll be transitional workers, freelancers. And I think this is a good opportunity to understand the effects of crisis on a freelancer.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, what we want to look at is 3 things during this period of time, and then hopefully it'll get you in practice to look at those 3 things all the time. So number 1, we want to look at the skills that we have, right, as a freelancer, the knowledge we have, and then also our desire of what we want to do according to those personal, experiential, giving, and receiving values. And if we look at those, we try to apply them to the circumstances that exist today that may not have existed yesterday. And so there's a ton of opportunity that exists. Once again, I'm going to go back to the basis of this whole call is before we get to opportunity, let's make sure that you use your skills, knowledge, and desires for stability. And then, meaning putting your mask on first, making sure you're in business tomorrow, and then look for the opportunity. So through that, though, if you stay focused on the alignment of your skills, knowledge, and desire to the opportunities to stabilize and the opportunities to grow and accelerate within the context of this period, whether it's 3 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it may be, we know because if you look into Italy and you look into China, this thing's going to end, right? Mathematically, 99% chance it's going to end. So start applying your skills, knowledge, and desire to what you can do today, what you can do tomorrow, what we can do in a week, in a month, in a year, and you can re-engineer your skills, knowledge, and desire to align with what monetary opportunities exist, and things will just appear. And then when we pay attention to those things and we give our intention to them, the coincidences will happen. Out of nowhere, huge opportunities will present themselves with this formula of being able to understand from our skills, knowledge, and desire, from our values, paying attention plus intention, and the coincidences will appear. Does that sound fair?
That sounds very fair, sir.
Awesome, man. Well, as a gig guy, myself, and a freelancer, stick to that formula. I promise you that you'll have acceleration and growth. You'll be able to enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. And if you need anything along the way, you know that I'm here to help stabilize as well.
So it's skills, knowledge, and desires we have.
Yeah.
That lead to the opportunities, and then attention to the intention.
Put attention to it and give it your intention, which is the aggregate Intention is the aggregate of what we think, say, do, and believe, and understanding the quantum nature that we have, which is our personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions. And if we can apply all of those to what we pay attention to, the coincidences that we want will arise, and we'll be able to take advantage of those and monetize them for not only stability, but opportunity today and tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Call me anytime, my friend. Thank you. That was a great question.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
You got it. Stay healthy. All right, everybody. Don't forget, I'll be here tomorrow, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Bruce Tollner, the incredible Bruce Tollner, Rep 1, is going to be here at 9:15. We're going to talk about careers at 9:15. We'll answer a variety of questions along the way, but there's no one better to talk to in all of careers, let alone the career sports, than one of my mentors, friends, and the legend, Bruce Tollner. Who's this?
Call has been forwarded to
Oh, it sucks.
Mike Diamond's on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. Mike Diamond, call in, brother. If you guys don't know Mike Diamond, you got to follow Mike Diamond. We got a great playbook coming out with him. But this guy, every once in a while, I meet some soulmates, right? Like the Ed Miletts of the world, the Bill Hughes of the world, the Garys of the world. Matt Higgins is another soulmate. Claude at Vayner as well. She texted me this morning. She's absolutely a soulmate. But this guy, Mike Diamond, and I share something special. Dallas?
Hello?
Hey, Dallas?
Yeah, what's up?
You're gonna love it.
Hey,
Hello,
Dallas.
David.
This is Dave Meltzer in Irvine. How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
I can help myself. Anyway, JP over here, the Just Stone, the mentee of Z-Rock, told me this is the best question of the day. What do you got for me?
Well, I was wondering about jumping careers. I graduated from law school in about a year. I met you in New York City, actually. And when I talked to you about that, about finishing with the JD and then going somewhere else, because my greatest assets are personality and ability, I wanted to change careers, and you suggested sales. And I'm wondering what kind of mindset you need to have when you're doing that. What kind of challenges can you expect? And what's the best way when you're going forward? That mindset I asked about, how do I make sure that I take that every single day when I'm changing careers, when I'm taking this leap of faith that you were talking about before?
Right. So let's first of all change your mindset about careers. You don't have one. You're a student. So you're not changing a career. Right now you're preparing for a career.
Right.
And so I had this mindset because for me, I just wanted to be rich. So for me, it wasn't a matter of like, I'm building some career. I'm going to be a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, you know. For me, it was, all right, where's my direct path to revenue? But one thing that did for me was I wanted to understand the purpose of what I was doing while I was in law school. You know, what relationships was I building internally and externally with the students at the school, with the administration at the school, with the alumni of the school. I was more concerned knowing how to make money from those relationships. And then I looked at the skill sets that I was learning that were applicable. You know, one of the ironies of law school was all those different cases that I read, whether it be from tax law to criminal law to entertainment law to maritime law, charter parties, and all these different things that I learned. I was looking at it from a different perspective of skills, knowledge, and desire. I was looking at it from the perspective, mostly subconsciously, without a true directive, but I was looking at it because I wanted to make money from it, I learned that about that business, even though it was a tax case. Or, oh, wow, you know, this is about this negotiation. It was really funny. I remember one of the oil and gas cases I read, and it had to do about maritime law and the international treaties and all this stuff. But meanwhile, what interests me was the negotiation, because in the case law, when they gave me the summary, they were talking about the negotiation because it was relevant to the later on damages that occurred. But I learned so much because there was this cool negotiation in a multi-million-dollar oil and gas case about goods being transferred, but they included the part about negotiation. Whether you think you're in sales or you're not, everyone's in sales, because here's how I define sales. I define sales, and I'm going to put a video out about this, in a course about this, 5 to Thrive. Life is about this, and it's about sales. Whether you have a law degree, a medical degree, you know, Dr. Eric George is a close friend from New Orleans. He owns the Windsor Court Hotel. He's a multi-millionaire entrepreneur, but he's a doctor. But he went to med school not to be well trained like a plumber. He went to med school to be a business person and to understand, how things are done. And that's what we look at. So he learned, Dr. Eric George and I, we live by one, how do you stimulate interest? In other words, how do we inspire someone? How do we clear the connection of inspiration, not only between me and what I've learned and the lessons in light and love that I have, but the connection then between me and that person in order to effectuate the transfer of that light, love, and lesson. Right? How do I do that? That's stimulating interest. And then two, how do I transition that interest to share my vision of value? Whether it's for sales or not. My vision of value could be to heal you of this virus. My vision of value could be to feed you. My vision of value could be to house you. But my vision of value could be to sell you legal research online. And then, after I share this vision, how do I manage and develop, what's the matter, Schwan?
Just the comments.
Oh, good. Don't worry. People are negative. It's fine. Hey, once again, if you got a negative comment, don't let my wife see it. She gets really offended, and so does Schwan. But if you want, call me on my cell phone. Go ahead, DM me on your negative comments. I will talk to you personally on the cell phone. But I digress. Managing and developing a vision, creating a go, no-go plan in life and in sales and in your career. Creating and managing and developing that vision is simply understanding values and being able to share those with others so that why? If we can meet the expectations of others. I'm not talking about exceed expectations. Very rarely are we going to exceed expectations because people always want more. But if we can meet the expectations of what we promise, which is why I put things in writing, then it will thrive. That thriving is that 2x2x2 ambassadorship that I'm talking about. That thriving is the most efficient, effective way to be successful. It's why, when this guy has negative comments that poor Schwan and my wife are upset about, that everyone will come to my defense, like Schwan and my wife and all these other people on here. When somebody is obviously upset and scared and they're projecting their insecurity, right, then I can heal that if they call me. I can ask them, why are you so upset? Right? Because people that attack you, they're only people that attack, right? People that make fun of you or define you or do whatever just define themselves as somebody that needs to do that. I will understand why they feel that way and then pray for their happiness, because if they were happy, they definitely won't be wasting their time. These are lessons that I learned in sales. These are lessons that I learned in law school. These are lessons that you're learning right now. So I want you to take yourself out of the context that there's some ubiquitous career that you're pursuing, but instead you're going to pursue the skills, the knowledge, and the desire, and you're going to learn if money is one of those values, you're going to learn to find stuff that pays you the most, or if family's most important, you're going to find that, or health most important. Whatever it is, you're going to prioritize that in your life, but you're going to be equipped today and to the future by practicing this. Does that sound fair?
That sounds extremely fair. Thank you so much for the advice, man. And thank you for everything that you're doing.
You got it, man. Send me your resume. I'll see how I can help you as well. Explore some future opportunities and different opportunities that you may not have the situational knowledge or experience to know about yet. Or the relationships, okay?
Cool. Thank you so much, David. Appreciate that, man.
Anytime. Take care. Thank you so much.
Good, man.
All righty. Hey, Schwan, do we want to say the negative comments so we can address it? No.
Nah.
No, nice.
It was fine.
Why people have to not be nice?
Oh, this guy's in Irvine. We gotta call him.
I think CNN replayed that thing with Dr. Gupta and the other lady that's the doctor, and they put the guy up from Irvine like 20 times.
Oh, really?
I watched it like all weekend long.
Steven Weisler?
Steven. Alrighty. Is any of my family on?
Just
Haven't seen.
They're too busy for me. I'm hurt. No need to be offended. All right. This is a long ring for a local call.
Yeah.
Chris Long, how are you, buddy? You got it. He's one of my
Hello, you've reached the
friends.
voicemail box of Stephen Whistler. Sorry I missed your call.
Sorry, Stephen. Feel free to call back. We'll definitely want your question. Jay, how are you as well? Good to see you. I really appreciate everybody that's hanging on. Remember, tomorrow I'm going to come back on to do more Q&A. I'm going to bring Bruce Tollner in to talk about careers. Make sure you join us at 9:15 for Bruce. I'll be on at 8 a.m. helping the best that I can to accelerate and help people grow, stabilize, and grow. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, UB.
Hello?
Hi, UB. It's David Meltzer.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Is
Or
it
nice to talk to you.
nice to talk? Is it Yumi? Is it Yumi or Yummy?
It's Yumi.
Ah, okay, perfect. I wish it was Yummy, but oh well.
Everybody calls me Yumi. So my question was, how do you go about finding a mentor? Because I am new to all this, but I followed you and for years, and I like really appreciate everything that you put out and your content. It's so inspiring. So I just want to really just change my life and really get clear about, executing everything that I want to get to where I want to be. Perfect. So I feel like a mentor is like a great, person to have in your life to help you do that.
We're on the same page, and two, more than one mentor is all right as well. And so the first step of finding a mentor is finding what you want to learn. A lot of times in generalities we think, Dave Meltzer can be this mentor. Even all the people that I mentor, whether it's to stabilize them, and I do that for free with a variety of different courses and books and everything that I'm willing to give people for free, or whether it's an opportunity-based mentorship where I'm trying to create profit for someone and guaranteeing that, they have to know what they want, right? I'm amazed how many times I'll get on my first coaching call or mentorship call and I'll say, so what is it you'd like to work on? Oh, I just thought you could help me. No. The first step of finding a mentor is saying, hey, I want to have stronger biceps, or I want to learn to sell, or I want to know my relationship with money, or I want to, figure out my intimate relationship or the energy. I want to feel worthy of things. I want to learn how to run faster. There's a million different things that people can mentor you on, and they do. So the first step that I want you to do is to think about what you really want, meaning what you really want to learn, and prioritize those things that you want to learn. And then go ahead and do research. There's so much out there on YouTube and Instagram and LinkedIn and TikTok, and find the person that you think best sits in that situation. For me, I have mentors, people that, are a stock market mentor or an annuity mentor, like very specific mentorship. My mom is still my mentor of parenting, right? Which is a critical thing that I wanted in my life. And I was blessed to be born into, I was actually blessed to be born into two really good parents for mentoring, because one showed me what not to do and the other shows me what to do. Both are equally advisable, and I love them both equally. Unfortunately, my dad passed, and it was fun for me to have that conversation with him, and have him mature and grow and illuminate so much that we could discuss the mistakes that he made. And even at 30, he had such an impact on my life to tell me I was making the same mistakes as him. And even handle me being an idiot and being angry at him because I was just like him. But the main point is, if you can do me a favor and spend a minimum of 10 minutes a day focusing in on what you want mentorship for, and then go to 10 minutes a day trying to find that mentor, then spend 10 minutes a day asking those mentors if they'll mentor you. Most people won't say no. Right? Most people is the biggest compliment you can give someone is to ask for their help specific to the situational knowledge or experience that they've had. Everyone, their why, trust it, is to help somebody else. And when you give someone an opportunity to display or illustrate their why, you're giving the greatest gift of inspiration to that person. And very few people, other than time, emotion, or value, will deny you that or interfere or corrode that from you. Very few people. If they can't help you, at least find somebody else that can help. Does that sound fair?
Yes, that sounds really fair.
Awesome, Yumi.
Thank you so much.
Please keep in touch with me, and if you need anything or see any situational knowledge that I have or experience or dummy text that I've paid specific to what you want to learn, all you got to do is reach out. I'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. as well. And if you have any career advice you want, Bruce Dolner will be joining me at 9:15 as well. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, David.
You got it, my friend. Thanks, Yumi. All right.
Time for three more? Two more?
Just Stone is telling me J Stone, D Rock and J Stone. Yeah. J Stone. J Stone's magic. Wait till you see this video that I'm dropping at 3 p.m. Pacific time today. J Stone has outdone himself and his team. These guys are unbelievable. They make me finally, after all these years, they make me look good. Eddie Munster?
You just said this question like a minute ago.
Yeah, he's getting off his computer. His phone's ringing. He only has one line.
Eddie Thompson.
That's my boy. What's up, Eddie? It's Dave Meltzer.
Hello.
Hello, it's Dave Meltzer. How are you, Eddie?
What's up, Eddie? Dave Meltzer.
I'm doing great, my man. How you doing?
Oh, you got two Dave Meltzers there. That's like the Buppet in the background. That's awesome. Anyway, you got a question for me?
I do. I was just trying to figure out, from my perspective, I'm actually working with some of the guys that you know, Roger Brooks and Andre Heichel, putting together some book things and things like that. But wanted to know specifically how you position yourself early on. Like, what are some of the actions that you took early on to position yourself as a thought leader today? Because the primary thing that I'm looking to do is build a tribe, man. Trying to figure out how to do that, but also I got a baby on the way with another 1-year-old, so I'm trying to make that, financially stable as well.
Yeah, so the first step, and I appreciate the compliment of calling myself a thought leader, but I am a thinker, and I hope my thoughts are inspirational, my beliefs are inspirational, my actions are inspirational. But the first step, and everybody out there, get out your pens, your notepads, your phones, your iPads, your computers. Life is about lessons. All right, and the lessons will keep on coming until we learn them. They will result in physical, emotional, spiritual pain until we've learned them. We will forget every single lesson that we ever learned at one time or another, but we have the power of accessing those lessons at any time, even lessons that we haven't learned. To that notion, if you want to be a thinker, if you want to inspire others, and whether or not people are going to qualify you with their conditions or judgments as a thought leader, which I've done for years with the Jack Canfields and Bob Proctors and Cynthia Kersey's and Wayne Dyers and all the greats out there, and Brian Tracy and all my dear friends. But they're thinkers, and they make a profession out of thinking like Einstein did. Most people don't know, by the way, I learned this at the Careers in Sports speech that I gave, that Einstein came up with these great ideas because he was the only one that graduated and didn't get a job, so it gave him time to think about things instead of just going to work. So my point is, to be a thought leader or to be a thinker, you need to codify the lessons you've learned and the stories that teach them. You need to codify the lessons you've learned and the stories that teach them. And then keep a repository of those lessons and stories, and then categorize in a searchable context those lessons and stories so that you can share your lessons and stories with people in order to inspire them to learn the lessons and access your lessons and make accessible your lessons. It's that simple. Whether it's in book, whether it's in sound, whether it's in video, whether it's on LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, a billboard, a side of a building. People keep posting. I've been blessed. Someone did a gratitude mural of me in Wilmington, Brooklyn, Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Thanks, Jakey Bakey. Bubby, you're so lucky to have such a good grandson. He helped me out there. It's Williamsburg. There's a side of the elite restaurant honoring me with a gratitude about what makes you happy. It doesn't matter. That makes me a thought leader because that's a great thought. Think about what makes you happy, right? In my own mission in life is to impact others, to impact others, to impact others, be happy. Over 1 billion people happy on earth. We probably won't even have disease. Definitely not destruction. But if you can, my friend, stick to this lessons and stories advice that I give you, and I promise you, as things accelerate and grow, people will consider you a thought leader the same way you have blessed me with that compliment. So I appreciate you, and I know this works.
Amen. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
You got it, man. I can't wait to read your lessons and stories. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. We're looking at 10 minutes till 10. We got 10 more minutes, a couple more questions. Tomorrow I'll be back on at 8 a.m. Pacific time. 9:15, the great Bruce Tollner, who's also working with that Roger Brooks, by the way, careers in sports and careers in general, transitioning as an athlete, all the different things. Amir. My boy Amir? Amir.
Amir said, no.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Hey, Amir, how are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. It's a big surprise for me.
It's an honor for me, and I love your accent, by the way. Your voice is extraordinarily relaxing and calming. What a great way to kind of finish up the day. What question do you have?
David, the question is that I'm working on my podcast right now, and actually I'm going to go to put this question in my podcast, the first season, the first episode. And the question is about why we do what we do. Because when I moved to the United States about 3 years ago, I realized that there are lots of things that we don't know. When we want to run a business or we want to do something, but we have no idea what we have to do and how we have to start it. And then I recognized that the reason is because we don't know why we want to do what we want to do. And I come up with this question that I ask you, why we do what we want to do in our life, in a business, and why we're not sometimes following them. You know what I mean? We have the idea, we have everything, but we're not going to follow our why, the reason that we have. So what is it all about?
Yeah, so I love this question. First of all, I believe that everyone knows their why, right? Our why is to help somebody or something. What the problem is we're not in the practice of ending fear. We're not in the practice of understanding ego-based consciousness and truth consciousness. So for me, understanding and being aware of when I'm in a state of resistance, interference, or corrosion to the greatest source of light, love, lessons that I'm already created and connected to. What does that mean? I need to understand that my ego fills needs like nobody else. And so we do the things that we do to fill the needs of the ego without understanding that our true why is just to help others and to help in general. And so once we come to the realization that we're here to help others and we're here to provide value and a service, then we can remind ourselves and get into the practice of reminding ourselves when we're not on that mission, when we're feeding a need to be right, a need to be offended, a need to be separate, a need to be inferior, a need to be superior, a need to be resentful, a need to be angry, a need to be frustrated, a need to be anxious, a need to be worried. All of those needs are the reasons that we do what we do when we're not in truth-based consciousness, which is to help others, be of service, and provide value. If we can train ourselves and practice to end fear, to end those void, shortages, and obstacles I just described to you in my definition and experience, if we can practice that, we can live in the truth-based consciousness and provide more value, be more productive, more accessible to others, to provide value and accessing what we want, and be gracious, having the perspective, the mindset of a try-me mindset, which we mentioned earlier, but moreover, a gracious mindset that everything that has happened is great, everything that is happening is better, and everything that will happen is even brighter and better than that. These are incredible ways to define the reasons we do what we do are driven by the fear that we have, the separation, the anxiety. So what we need to do is to practice ending fear so that we can create a clearer connection to that which we're already connected to, the greatest light, the greatest love, the greatest lessons that already exist, and allow that to come through us with appreciation. Appreciation is adding value so that we can share it with others to empower others, to do things for the right reason based on truth consciousness, not on ego-based consciousness. Does that sound fair?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Can I say that one? So whatever that we're doing in the life is because of the value that we have, and we want to practice those values in our life in a way to contribute with the people around, with the environment and the society. Is it right?
I wish I could quote you. I'm going to go back and watch that. You're exactly right? You're creating a void for you to fill with the value that you have and possess, with the truth, light, love, and lessons that you have. You nailed it, my friend. And if you continue to practice that and to help others practice that, you're going to do and be one of those 1,000 people that I want to impact another 1,000, impact another 1,000. You'll actually help me create a collective consciousness of truth, which will allow us to be abundant and allow us to have more than enough of everything for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Sure. Thank you. Have a good one.
Wow, sometimes we're in the 87%, sometimes we're in the 13%. That guy's in the 13%. I didn't think people could grasp and coalesce the things that quickly, but he regurgitated what I was trying to say more eloquently with that wonderful, beautiful voice than I ever imagined. I wish he was serving me food and be like, oh, this is escargot. This is delicious.
This is a great one to end on.
All right, this is the last call of the day. Hello.
Hi, Jake.
Charlotte.
Hi.
This is Charlotte from Harvard InTech, my dear friend from New York. How are you?
I'm well. It's so nice to hear your voice. I'm missing you in New York.
Oh, we miss you too, and it's so nice to hear your voice. As much as I love Sophia the robot, I'd much rather talk to you. So thank you for calling.
Thank you so much for also having my question on the live call.
Yeah, what is your question? We're going to end with you. You're the last one of the day. We'll start again tomorrow at 8 a.m. to help people. But what's the last question for the day?
Well, all these news all around us, everyone is asked to stay at home, or many others are sitting at home and are to be just overwhelmed with the news, but also suddenly not being in their mindset, having their habits of going to work, and there's just a lot of change happening, and there are many of us out there who are now doing home office. And we are suddenly faced with the challenge that we need to organize ourselves, be our own leader, and establish new good habits in order to continue growing. And what I was wondering if you can give us your advice with all this change around us, how we can go ahead and establish any good habits.
Great question.
With this overwhelming situation right now.
Sure. So let's start, and this is a great one to finish on until tomorrow. So Charlotte, habits are formed through the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum. And habits are formed by what we do every day. And that's why I talk about the enjoyment of the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. Habits are formed through routine, and now our routines are thrown off, our daily routine. That's why, number one, the lesson to learn in this day is that we need to have two routines, a daily routine and an adaptable routine. Adaptable routine used to mean for me when, in-laws came into town, a bachelor party, I had to travel to India or some sort of technological difficulty. Today it means a pandemic. But moreover, I have an adaptable routine so that I can work within the context of my conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum with daily activity that are going to build and strengthen all the different skills, knowledge, and desire that I have. So the conscious continuum starts with what we think, say, and do. And so we need to adhere our values to what we're going to think, say, and do during the day. So those personal values, experiential values, giving and receiving values. What are we going to ask today for help and how we're going to receive help? Student of our calendar, planning the day differently of what we have planned, what we don't have planned, and sleep. Also doing it now, making sure that we do things now because 100% of things we do now get done. And then finally practicing ending fear, which we just talked about. But if we have an adaptable routine based off of our new priorities, our new values, asking, student of your calendar, do it now, and practicing ending fear. If we can have an adaptable routine. My adaptable routine has been set for years because I know what I think, say, and do is based off of an inaccurate input. As we learned with our artificial intelligence thing we did with Harvard Business Tech last week, artificial intelligence has a direct input. Our input is through senses. 5 senses that are inaccurate, as well as our memories, which is even more accurate. A computer, artificial intelligence, their senses are accurate because they're data-driven, as well as their memory is perfect, unless something technologically happens. But literally, most of the time, a computer's memory or artificial memory is perfect. Well, we want to think, say, and do all the things directed towards our values. We then want to create the beliefs that we have through the subconscious thoughts that we have, that we're accessing every day. And then we can continue to grow by activating more of the DNA, the quantum memory that we have, so that our personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions all are aligned to what we want, even though we're working at home, even though our worlds are turned upside down, even though there's different stability issues and different opportunity issues. We're able to do that within the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum by knowing our values. My adaptable values start with a minimum of 1 hour a day on my health, a minimum of 30 minutes a day with my wife, 30 minutes with my 9-year-old, 2 minutes with my kids, 1 minute with my mom, and then being a student of my calendar, which with the lens of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude, allow me to be efficient, effective, and statistically successful. We're running out of time. It's 10 o'clock, Charlotte, but that may be the best one to end on. I hope that is helpful. Everybody, change your daily routine to an adaptable routine if necessary during this time, and then we'll go back, but stay and enjoy the consistent, persistent pursuit of your potential. What a wonderful person to end with. You're one of my favorite people, Charlotte. I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Bye-bye. What a gem. We saw her last week in New York. Thank you, everyone. Remember, 949-298-2905. It's been 2 hours of focus for me. Remember, tomorrow, 8 a.m., same bat channel, same bat place. I will be